It is my distinct pleasure to introduce the 42nd President of the United States of America, William Jefferson Clinton.
You want to listen?
Thank you.
Hey, listen to this guy.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank the people from the University of Louisville who welcomed me, the Provost, Shirley Willihans, the Speaker of the Student Senate, Megan Reeves, and the President of the College Democrats, John Weber. And thank you all for being here. Governor Beshear, Senator Ford, Representative Yarmouth, my longtime friend, the Mayor of Louisville, Jerry Abramson, thank you so much for everything you've done. Candidates to succeed him, Greg Fisher, I wish you well. And there are some other candidates here, Tim Firkins, Marty Meyer, I wish you well, and I thank you for the help you've given to my family in the past. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here for a lot of reasons. I like this man. I admire what he's done. I like his family. I like Elizabeth and little Eva. I love Kentucky. You've been good to me. And to my wife, and I tried to be good to you. And you might be interested to know this is the 132nd event I have done in this campaign for more than 90 candidates. And when I started out, I didn't mean to do this. Really, I didn't. You heard Jack. My life today is my foundation. We provide the medicine that keeps 2.5 million people alive who have AIDS all over the world, and 70% of all the children in 4 countries. I'm going from stop to stop and in between talking to people on the phone about how to contain the cholera epidemic in Haiti, because I'm trying to help rebuild Haiti. I have programs for women that got blown out of their homes by the narco traffickers in Colombia. I'm trying to help small businessmen and women survive this horrible recession in Harlem and all over America. And I'm fighting against childhood obesity, the #1 public health care problem in this country. That's what I do. I don't do politics. I'm meant to go out and do a few events for people who had supported Hillary because, as President Obama's Secretary of State, she and the Secretary of Defense cannot engage in politics. And there was nobody but me to honor our family's friends and the people that have helped her. And I'm pretty big on dancing with those that brung you. So that's all I meant to do. And then I got out here and I realized that this election was occurring in a parallel universe that was almost completely fact-free. Here we are at this grand university. With a law school named for one of the great people in the history of American law. One of the great breakthroughs in our commitment to diversity and equal opportunity. One of the first Jewish members of the Supreme Court who will stand up. Standing behind your version of one of the great statues ever created by an artist called The Thinker! Yeah, so why don't we think we're on a university campus? So just think with me for a minute. You know, last night was Halloween, but I feel like it's still going on. And the great thing about Halloween is we all want a treat, but to get one, you got to avoid the trick. And they're trying to play our people. Why is this even a race? Because there are all these people that have been spun up so tight they think, you know, I got to vote for anybody who's not a Democrat. And don't bother me with the facts. I start basketball season. So when Louisville takes the court, they'll worry about the facts. They'll study game films. And then after every game, hundreds of you will remember in enormous detail the statistics. Who scored what points, what their percentage were, what their foul shooting percentage, it won't you? Because when something's life or death like basketball, we care about the facts. But if it's just your whole future, don't bother with the facts. I got my mind made up. I know what I have to do. They're playing you. I was trying to think of what a fact-based attack on Jack would look like. Like if Rand Paul was given a fact-based attack, he'd say, vote for me because my opponent here saved the taxpayers $100 million in Medicaid recoveries. He saved them $150 million in utility rates that are lower. He had the biggest drug bust in the history of his office and 68,000 illegal porn images taken off the internet. Vote for me. I'm Rand Paul. I'm for smaller government, but I never did anything to cut smaller government. I want more money from the Medicare program. You should vote against him. He actually cut the cost of his office by 26%, gave up his car, and cut his salary because everybody else in Kentucky was hurting, and he wanted to do his part for the taxpayers. So, obviously, you should vote against him. Vote against him. He's got a plan to cut small business taxes, and I don't. Vote against him. He's got a plan to create jobs with all of our energy sources and bring manufacturing jobs back to Kentucky and to America, and I don't. Instead, you ought to vote for me so we could get rid of the Americans with Disabilities Act, get rid of mine safety regulations.
Yeah, right.
All of that. It's crazy, isn't it? It's in a parallel universe. Now you're laughing, but I'm serious. I don't mind people being mad. I don't mind people being hurt. I don't mind being mad at the Democrats and the Republicans and whoever they want to be mad at. But folks, this is a job, and it really does matter. One of the things I've learned in all my years in politics is even though most folks don't think much of us politicians, you've got to take people seriously. When they say something, they normally try to do it. This man is not kidding that's running against him. And neither is he. I'm just interested in you. I've lived my life. If I ever had another day on earth, I'd be more fortunate than 99.999% of the people that ever walked across planet Earth. I was the first person in my family to ever go to college. I worked my way through law school with 6 jobs, never more than 3 at once. I got to do things that I never could have dreamed. Only 2 governors of small states have ever been elected president. It was just one of those things. And when it's all over, I can tell you something. There's only 3 things that matter. Are people better off when you quit than when you started? Do children have a brighter future? Are we coming together or drifting apart? If you can get the right answer to those 3 questions, everything else is background music. And there's a whole lot of background music in this election.
God bless you.
I see this everywhere. I know why people are upset. I was up at Colgate in upstate New York the other night, and I finally met a woman who was one of the people I've been hearing about. All these independents that don't agree with the Republicans on anything and say, I'm going to vote for them anyway. It's the only way to make them cooperate. You heard that? Oh, just have to divide them. They'll have to work together. I'm just so sick of all this fighting.
Oh, God.
Well, I want to go through a little, again, of the facts. I want you to stare at the statue and let's do the facts. But the man who would be Rand Paul's colleague said that, yeah, they cooperated with me, and it was the biggest mistake they ever made. And they shouldn't have done it, and they won't make that mistake again. Their only interest is making the president a one-termer. Now, let me tell you something. Whether you're for the president or not, right now this country is in a hole we still have got to get out of, and the number one thing ought to be getting out of the hole and getting the country doing it, doing what's right for the people, and forget about the politics till 2 years from now when everybody can support whoever they want and do whatever's right.